told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick-tick, so upsy daisy. Here we go. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider. I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
I don't know anything about saving worlds, but you do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
You were an X-Man. You were the X-Man. I am soaking wet right now.
Boys are so silly.
This is what I'm talking about. Big slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die? Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes, but I can't.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, arriving in theaters on July 26th. I'm Kuya P, this Nerds Rule the World, and joining me to talk all things Deadpool and Wolverine are a pair of my favorite critic homies here in the DC area. I got from the movie review, screen comments, and film threat, my man Anthony Francis. How are you, sir?
How are you? Glad to be back.
Wonderful, man. Wonderful. And of course, when he's not kicking soccer balls, he's the man with a peach review, my man John Jones. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Ready to dive
Or should I
in?
say football? Football. Let me get it correct, man. But it's a pleasure, as always, gentlemen, to chat it up. As of this recording, I still feel like it's so fresh in my mind. It's probably been 48 hours now, if I'm not mistaken. But we recently checked out Deadpool and Wolverine, and we're going to talk all about it now, y'all. So I'm not going to delay anymore. Let's get right into it. As we do, let me fix my screen. Speaker view. We're going to give you the story, a little bit of the plot. And then as well as get into the cast, and I'll probably mix it in there. And then me, John, and Anthony will just dig right in. But before we do that, we spoke on it. If you're tuning into this, you probably will see it in the description as well as in the title. We're going spoilers, y'all. We're doing spoilers. We want to get into it. They both wrote their reviews that they had to be careful with what they said. I'm like, let's just go balls to the wall. Let's do what Ryan Reynolds would do and just say, fuck it. We're cursing too. I don't care. And we're just going to give it to y'all. Hey. We're going to have some fun, but I'll keep it down because I know John doesn't like too many of the cursing, and we'll keep it not too violent as well. So let's talk about it. We got Deadpool, man. Of course. That's why we're here. Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds. They're one and the same. They're in Earth 10,005. I'm probably getting that off. It's Earth-10005. Where after the events of Deadpool 2, he's just, craziness has ensued in his universe, but he's depressed because his Morena Baccarin, I'm probably brutalizing her name. I forgot her character's name. Vanessa is no longer with him, and he's kind of just in the dumps, and he doesn't want to be Deadpool anymore. And he wants to be Deadpool, but he wants to be with the Avengers. I don't know how he learned of the Avengers in this timeline. I'm so confused. That's one thing too. We'll probably get very confused with multiverses and timelines here. But he wanted to join the Avengers. They turned him down, and so he's now a used car salesman, if you will. It's like a CarMax situation in where he's at, and just doesn't want to be this character anymore. He gets pulled by the TVA. Here comes regular Marvel, and because also we're in Fox Marvel, right? So we're in Fox Marvel and we're Marvel timeline. The TVA come in. They're like, hey, we want you to join with us. We want to keep you alive because we see something in you, if you will. And if you don't, you're going to die along with everybody else, because in your Fox Marvel timeline, Logan, who is the key to your universe, has passed and everything's going to go away. So I think I'm getting my whole things confused, guys. As I'm talking to you, John and Anthony right now, who are listening in. Logan dies, right? Logan dies, and if he doesn't go with them, he will die too. So if you want to stay with us, join us. But Deadpool doesn't like that. He wants to save his peoples in there. So he's off to find a Wolverine to keep the timeline alive, if you will. And it's in Deadpool's broken ideology of which one is the right one, and it doesn't matter. Paradox, who runs the TVA, or this sector of the TVA, has his plans hatched. So through all of that, we get to see some brilliance of just a love affair for the comics. I have to say, as a comics nerd, there's a bunch of these different pieces of Deadpool going to patch Wolverine. We get a Henry Cavill, if you will, which is amazing. I'm sure the guys are going to talk about that. We get the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. That just, my nerddom flag was just, I was waving that nerddom flag. I was so excited to see that. Just all these various Wolverines that we've never seen on film. We get the Wolverine that's on the X thing, kind of like a throwback to Conan the Barbarian, if you that I'm again showing my nerd card there, but just that great image of Wolverine on the X. Just some great comic moments that were brought to screen that I was just loving. All the while we get to the last Wolverine, who didn't do a great job in his timeline, and he then brings that Wolverine to Paradox, and it doesn't mean a hill of beans. They already have plans hatched, so they get that little zapper zapped that takes them to the void that we know from Loki. That goes down. We're now in the void, and cameos galore, y'all. I don't even know where to start. But through being in that universe, we meet just so many amazing people. I'll save that for the guys to talk about it, because I want them to have some moments like, yo, did you see that? See that? We meet Cassandra Nova, the sister of Charles Xavier that was killed in the womb, or so to speak, but she is in this reality. She's in the void. She kind of runs this area along with help with the TVA that we'll find out later on. And through surviving in this area, Deadpool and Wolverine come back up out of that. I'm fast forwarding y'all because I really want to get to talking with the guys. They stop everything, and we are in some new timeline of the Marvel Universe. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure we're going to talk about it and discuss with the guys, but just a wild ride. This is adult Tom and Jerry, y'all. While Wu-Tang may be for the children, Deadpool is not for the children. I also want to preface that Wu-Tang's for the children, but not Deadpool. So make sure they're of age when you watch this film. But it is so much fun. I haven't smiled so much at a screening in so long, but just a blast. But I want to talk to my guys right now. I'm keeping this very quick. And we'll get into the cast and all that more with the discussion with the guys. Guys, let's talk. I wanted to, like, we always give this. You've done these reviews with me, but there's just so much that I just rather save for us. What do you think of that snapshot? You want to add to that? Let's get into this discussion. What did you guys think of this story? Were you fans of Deadpool coming into this? Let me throw it to you, Anthony.
I was a fan of Deadpool. I like the first movie. I love the second, and this one is just incredible to me. It's just wonderful. This is the second time in the same summer that in a review I've written this is summer entertainment done right. The other one was Twisters, which we all spoke about. No, it's a blast. It's a complete blast. I was a Deadpool fan already. Confession, I was never a fan of Ryan Reynolds until Deadpool.
Oh.
And then he just won me over, and now I like him in other things. And I've actually gone back to see a couple other things that were probably pretty good, but I was on my high horse and I wouldn't enjoy it because he was in it. No, I Deadpool's a great character. Wolverine's a great character. And I said this too. This is the one that everybody's been waiting for. And it doesn't disappoint. I say this in my review, it's or something like this. It doesn't do fan service, but it serves the fans what they want with respect to the legends of both of these guys and all of the incarnations. It's an incredible entertainment. I was really entertained. It's a blast. I mean, I could keep going, but we will. John.
Okay, so I was a fan of Wolverine. So I'm old school Wolverine. So I was reading the comics back in like the early 90s. So I've missed a lot because it was something I kind of just grew out of. But like I had my earliest Wolverine was like Wolverine like issue 17. So like way back then I knew of like Weapon X, and I knew of like his beef with Sabretooth, because then I also read like X-Men comics and stuff. And so I also read enough that I knew about Cable and all the other characters like that. But I was really never a Deadpool fan until the film started coming out. And kind of like Anthony, I wasn't the biggest Ryan Reynolds fan until Welcome to Wrexham and the Deadpool movies. Yeah, once he got into Footy and then the Mint mobile commercials, I was like, all right, he's okay. And then when he did Deadpool, I was like, okay, he's actually kind of funny. Okay, I dig this guy. So all that leading up to this, I mean, the opening 20 minutes, guys, I just knew we were in for a phenomenal movie. The opening number with the fighting the people in the we doing spoilers. So yeah, fighting the people with the TVA with the doing it to NSYNC. I mean,
yes,
that was
that whole dance routine.
The dancing, yeah, man.
Like you said, John, if you're laughing that hard in the first 15 or so minutes, it's just gold from then on.
Yeah, there was a couple of times I leaned over on Anthony. I was laughing so hard. I didn't even mean to. I was just laughing so hard. And I mean, cameos so brilliant. Like the biggest one, which I'm holding off because I'm gonna do things kind of chronologically. But the best part, and I know Patrick knows what happened, is this person appeared and Patrick rose to his feet, and I could tell because I saw his knee like inches away from my peripheral, and I was like, good, I'm that excited too. Like my wife was geeking out. It was
the best way to see a movie like this, I've discovered between this and a couple other movies, is having Patrick either right behind you or to the side of you.
To the side of you, yeah.
It was great. I almost fist bumped you behind me during the scene. I'm like, yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, I was in full energy mode, man. I was just, it was like, hallelujah. Yeah, yes. Like, let's go. Yeah, such a fan.
Yeah.
Such a fan.
It might be summer, but you watch that movie, it's Easter, baby. There's eggs everywhere. All throughout the film.
Oh my gosh.
It's laced with eggs.
I can't wait to watch it again and capture all of that. Just so much.
They come at you like a machine gun too.
Yeah.
It was hard to follow.
Right when you're saying, oh my God, there's something else.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh man. Funny thing. Early on in the movie, like within the first hour, the next big scene, bro, when they were in the void, and he goes, oh yeah, you're getting all Mad Maxy. Oh no, we can't do that. IP. Oh, bro.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the first thing I thought of.
That's when I wanted to like grab you by the head, Anthony, like Mad Max, bro.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, and all those
Crazy.
jabs he took at 20th Century Fox. Oh my gosh. Just endless jabs at Fox. And it was
So
like,
good.
oh yeah, we can do that now. Or yeah, now that we have a budget. I was like, oh, ouch.
I love the skewering of the now well played out multiverse plot device, and I also love the skewering of Marvel's last few movies.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
You've come at a low point.
Oh man, just to be self-aware. Although although I'm a fan of this stuff, but just the ability to laugh at yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, the real fans are going to be there, but we're aware that there's also people that may not dig the stuff. It's just beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You just take your shots and just keep going at it. And it's just amazing. So I want to walk you guys through a little bit of the sections so that way, because we're all being careful, but like we want to spoil. So like, we'll do it. But
that's what
I'm surprised y'all took a while on Ryan Reynolds though. Like, did y'all not? Well, the film that made me fall in love with Ryan was Waiting, because when I was in high school, I worked at a restaurant that's similar to like Applebee's. Well, they're owned by Applebee's. It was Applebee's trying to be in an Italian restaurant. It was called Tomato Rumbas. It was like my first job. So like I worked at a restaurant. And have y'all seen Waiting?
Yeah.
I've seen bits and
that
pieces.
was my life. So that's like where I felt like, because Ryan was just pitch perfect in Waiting.
That's one I had to go back and watch because I'm like, that's a good movie, but I can't enjoy it because of Ryan Reynolds. But
he has been like the same kind of actor character in a lot of other projects. So I'm not gonna lie. So I understand why.
Yeah, that's why this was so refreshing.
It works though with him. Like this is him. Like, so let's get into the film and just get into different areas. We see him, regular schmegular, break up when he auditions, I guess, if you will, with Jon Favreau. And like you're saying, John, Easter eggs aplenty in that office.
Oh yeah, all
but
around the wall, the table.
Yeah,
just so much goodness there. What did y'all think of that? And then leads him on this mission through the rest of the film. We already said the musical number. It opens with the musical number with NSYNC, which was just brilliant. Like that's hands down amazing. But then we get into like the motivation with him, not getting with Jon Favreau.
Yeah, blood, NSYNC, dance moves, and that's your first 15 minutes. So you had me at hello. You had me.
And we all love Jon Favreau. Come on, everybody.
And then Fab shows up, man. I love him. I love him from way back. That's a great scene. It was great to see him, but I almost couldn't concentrate on the characters because I'm looking around the table. I'm looking at the wall, and I'm like, oh, that's the helmet. Oh, there's this picture, and that's a great. And I mean, that's kind of the scene that, in a way, says, oh yeah, we're going to do this to you in every moment. You're just the screen is alive with Easter eggs and things to see, I think.
Yes.
And it's like a hunt.
Yep.
Yeah. Like the when all the home scenes, like whenever Deadpool is at home with his friends and like Colossus and all of them. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the beginning, through the flashbacks and the end, when they're all together like eating, because again, you just gotta keep your eyes open.
So many, dude.
So in one scene they were talking and I looked, and all of the food they were eating, all the pizza and stuff, was like Feige's Fresh on the box and stuff like that. For Kevin Feige, it was like Feige Fresh delivery. Feige
I missed that.
Food. Yeah. I just happened to be looking while they were talking. I was like, oh, babe, look, his name is on the pizza box. She was like, huh? What? Because, it just happened so quick. And I was like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I missed that too. I didn't see it. I didn't notice.
I thought that was like something cool that, I mean, aside from them being in the wasteland and you see all the stuff out there. And
well, let's get to the wasteland. So we're at the party, all of that. So just awesome stuff there. After, we leave from not making it with the Avengers, we're celebrating. He also, I love that we got the character back that was just like the everyman guy that he's working at the CarMax type place.
Oh,
was it Paul? Peter.
Peter.
It was great to see Peter because he was just he's not a superhero, but didn't we all fall in love with Peter from like Deadpool 2? And to have him back, kind of be that segue and then be the guy that we, again, later on is just amazing because he's just a regular dude, man.
Yeah.
So he's working with Peter. We're at the party. At the party, TVA shows up. We then head over to the TVA and we get this whole menagerie and we find out what's the driver of the film of tracking Wolverine because Wolverine died in your timeline and it's going to destroy your timeline. What did you guys think of that before we get to the Void? Because I know we're going to like really get into the Void stuff, but the tracking of all the different Wolverines though, I again, like I said, I was nerding out because we got the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. We have the brown costume Wolverine. We have the patch Wolverine with a little bit of a Hulk cameo, if you will. Just because you read the comics, John, did you recall some of those Wolverines? What did you think of that? And then
I only remember about 3 or 4 of them actually reading. Now I've seen pictures online of a few of them. So when they showed the different Wolverines, it didn't hit me the same as like I heard you and I heard the guy to like my far left behind me. Like they were super duper excited.
I was orgasming, bro. I was like, oh.
I had to ask my son at the end. Okay, now what was that one? No, what was that one? And he was like, "That's the one."
I was nerding out with your son, Anthony. That's probably what got us the love. Because did you see that one? Did you see that one? It was crazy.
I told you.
We were all laughing at you two after the movie. Yeah, you guys were going at it, man.
Man, it was just great fan service. But I think above all, what I think was really cool in that sequence is and just out of nowhere. But if you were paying attention as X-Men fans and casting, Henry Cavill as Henry Wolverine, because they're like, who's going to replace Hugh Jackman to squeeze that in there to maybe bring Henry Cavill into the MCU. Yeah. That was amazeballs.
Yeah.
And
I'll stay silent.
I touch on this one too. Even before we got to that point, if you're a fan of the comic books, I'm sorry guys, I wanted to put this one out there because this also had me orgasming off the top. The character of Wolverine is a short guy in the comics.
Yeah.
And everybody, nerds were like, well, he's too tall when we got Hugh Jackman. But then we eventually grew, because Hugh Jackman's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give us that. Well, to be fair, okay, we'll give you Hugh Jackman Wolverine. But then when he got up out of his stool, it was short Wolverine.
That was funny.
How hilarious was that for you guys? I don't know if you were aware of that. What did you think of that moment? Because the nerd fans that are like core comic book guys, that was such great fan service, if you will, to that. I'm just curious what you guys thought about that. That was amazing. And then Henry Cavill as well. What did you think about that play up?
I did know that one, actually, the small Wolverine and all those issues. So that was hilarious and really clever. Just very quickly, one of the most entertaining things is watching him going to find the right Wolverine to take. It's just great. What a great idea. While making fun of the multiverse, by the way. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Henry Cavill fan. Never have been. I'm sorry. Christopher Reeve is my Superman.
I'm with you there, brother. I'm with you there.
Always will be. Cavill's, he's kind of wooden, but I don't think it's his fault because the movies I've seen him in, he seems like a good actor. I just haven't seen him in any really.
Ungentlemanly Warfare this past year was amazing. I thought he was fantastic in that.
That was all right. That was okay. Yeah.
Okay.
He was good.
He was
good. He didn't like it. I know that was a great sequence. Please let's not bring Henry Cavill into the MCU.
Yeah, there's a lot of other actors out there.
I'm sorry.
Let's bring Henry Cavill into the MCU ASAP. Since he got dumped as Superman, we don't have to worry about him being Superman anymore. So let's bring him. I see you applauding, Anthony. I say bring him in. Look, it seems like anyone is welcome into the MCU. They just bring anyone and their mother in for these raggedy shows. Sorry, Patrick. And these not so great films. Sorry again, Patrick. So you might as well just let them in. You might as well let him in. I thought that was hilarious when I saw that. When I was like,
That's
"Oh,
great.
Henry Cavill, oh, that, yeah, like that." It fit.
It did fit. And it was really funny. It was awesome.
I will say there's a character, if we get really deep with these Marvel films, if they are allowed to do that, there's a Superman-like character called Hyperion that I've heard that they may go in that route. So he's part of the Squadron Supreme. Shout out to my nerds, because you guys are probably getting this, but my nerds know the Superman-like character that's part of the Squadron Supreme. Let's have Henry Cavill kind of do that different take, and that would be fantastic. He's like an evil Superman, guys. So that would be awesome. But let's get up out of the Marvel. I mean the Wolverine segments. Head over to the Wasteland. Again, that's where I wanted to grab you, Anthony. Be like, we're doing Mad Max, but MCU. But it's the Void, and the first big surprise cameo there after a great fight between Wolverine and Logan. Wolverine and Deadpool, excuse me. What did you guys think of that, and maybe that matchup, and then leading into that big surprise and that first cameo? Let me throw it back to you guys. Any thoughts?
Wasteland, I mean, like you said, as soon as we got there, I'm like, oh, they're going Mad Max. And then he said it. And then he said, well, we can't IP. And then they do it more and bigger. And I'm like, yeah, man, you guys just don't care. And I love that about you, talking about the movie. Which cameo were you?
You can do the reveal on it. The first one after the fight.
And
we think it's a certain Star Spangled character, but it turns out to be a different one.
I was gonna say I didn't want to jump ahead.
I didn't want to give away for everything. I wanted to help you guys out.
Well, you're right. Spoiler show. Chris Evans shows up, and one of the best jokes in the whole movie to me. Are we talking about this?
Let's get it. Like I said, we're digging in.
All right, everybody, and mind you, we're in a theater of only critics and a guest. And there were cheers when Chris Evans showed up, and they're like, "Yeah," and I heard somebody say "Cap," and then he has this big moment, and Ryan Reynolds is the funny thing about Deadpool in this movie is Deadpool fanboys out to everybody. He fanboys out to Wolverine, to Chris Evans, but he's fanboying because he's like, here he goes. He's gonna say it. He's gonna say Avengers Ascent. And then he's cut off, and all of a sudden it's revealed that Chris Evans is oh God, help me.
His Fox Marvel character of Human Torch.
Human Torch.
Part of the Fantastic Four.
And he's just flame on and just one, and Reynolds is that's one of the funniest jokes in the
went crazy.
I laughed so hard at that.
Great setup into just that was just brilliant.
It's fantastic.
And then what's so classic about that, and then the moments that lead us, so there's a whole Mad Maxy moment where we have, Sandra Nova, she's running this wasteland. We have this whole moment where they're abducted and unsuccessfully fight against her minions, which is made up of the Fox Sabretooth. We have Toad. We have Pyro, some of the villain X-Men characters, and just some of the other characters that I can't remember right now. Because again, so many freaking cameos. But what's brilliant about that is we're thinking we're getting a Cap Chris Evans, but it's Chris Evans Torch. But as an audience that maybe is this new Marvel generation, maybe these young people don't know, that didn't see that Fantastic Four way back when he was the Torch, because we did get other Fox Fantastic Fours, is this was a New Yorker Chris Evans. We know Star Spangled, I'm forgetting what phrasing or something, or where he's just like, he doesn't curse or anything. We've got dirty mouth New Yorker Chris Evans, Torch Chris Evans, which is just so brilliant that I think as a new audience that is seeing him now like this just was unexpected. And it leads us to Cassandra Nova's hideout in a dead Pym, a giant Pym version, in which is like their area. And then we get introduced to some new characters there. I don't know which one's offhand, but what did you think of that setup? Then we'll get into, because I'm trying to remember the sequence of events, guys, to then lead us into the next batch of cameos. John, let me throw it at you. Going from where we're at now?
Yeah. So to connect those, first off, I'll never buy a Honda Odyssey.
Yes,
that was brilliant.
That was great.
Second thing, when they showed up, I didn't recognize. Well, I recognized Toad, and then the fight happened, and then they got brought back to the lair. I thought it was cool that the lair was like a dead Ant-Man, just like in just like enclave, just like protecting the base or whatever. And then some of the villains show up, and then out of nowhere, I got zapped back to elementary school reading comic books when I see not a blue horned person show up with a tail, but a red one. And I was like, oh crap, that's Mephisto. And that was the only character I recognized was the dude that looked like the devil. I was like, oh, that's Mephisto. And so I kind of nerded out there a little bit because he was nowhere on my radar. And I just remember him from the comic books from like middle school. So that was interesting for me. I wasn't too familiar with anyone else until they panned, and I was like, that definitely has to be Juggernaut. And turns out that it was. And then they all end up fighting there, and just the way things turned, because also I didn't know that Charles had a half sibling in the womb, so that was something new for me too. But that whole sequence going on to the next one, I was just like, there's so much going on to try to have to remember. Like, just so much is happening.
And more nuggets, Easter eggs throughout. I will say, I don't think that was Mephisto though, John. There's a variant of the Nightcrawler type mutants.
Really?
And I think that's one of that, if I'm not mistaken. I might be completely mistaken, because I don't think they want to do that, because Mephisto's like a real godlike type character. I don't think he would be a lackey.
Okay.
So that's why
that's true.
Don't think
that's true.
Him that.
Well,
he's like Satan himself.
Yeah, that's what. Well, Juggernaut's a lackey.
Like, I don't think they'd ever do Mephisto because they want to make him an Omega level
a bigger character too. Yeah, I did think that was kind of weird. I thought he was like a super big character.
Yeah, no worries. But they escape off of like some leg of some, I guess, Iron Man part. But there's so many Easter eggs there. They're then moving on in the wasteland when they encounter X-23 and her buddies. And this leads to the new set of cameos that just made me lose my shit. And because this is the one I'm thinking you and I were, John.
Yeah,
we lost our minds.
Yeah.
You guys go ahead and do the reveal. We're spoiling.
If you're talking about the second person to walk through that door, I think all of our geekdom was just exploded together when that happened.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So who's gonna do it? Can I do it?
Go.
Can I do it?
Go.
Do it.
Freaking Blade! Lost my mind. I've never been so excited or shocked ever. Like when Patrick got up from his seat, I almost turned around and grabbed him because my wife wasn't excited enough. Like I was tripping because I was one of those people who watched on Twitter, who watched on Facebook, this man compliment Mahershala Ali and be like, oh, well, this and that. If you guys want to see Blade, this and this and that, I think this and this and that, you guys, blah, blah, blah. Whole time he knew. And I was like, that's smooth bastard. Oh,
Wesley Snipes, baby. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Just to have
I think I hurt my son because I was like, it's Blade.
Yeah, man. Like, we wouldn't have these Fox Marvel films, the Marvel films, if not kicked it off with Blade being so as successful as it was. Because that's when we then got the X-Men. It was freaking Blade. So just that respect was just so beautiful, dude. I was just so happy.
Yeah.
So happy,
and
man.
Of course, his great line.
Oh my gosh, dude. Because I think he had two of them.
He had a couple of his lines in there, man.
Yeah.
But one of the key lines that has me slightly worried is there won't be any other Blades because we are seeing the mess ups that's happening. Well, not mess ups, but just the insanity right now with the studios, with the Maharaja. Because I love Mahershala Ali and I'm brutalizing his name. But again, perfect casting, but we should have had it by now and we should have had some movement. But there's so many things going on behind the scenes. So
let me say this about Blade. we're recasting Blade, and I love Mahershala Ali. I think
Yeah.
he's a fantastic actor. Deserved both Oscars he got.
Yeah.
But look what this movie shows us.
Wesley still got it.
Snipes is still in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks as
Wouldn't you love an older Wesley Blade right now? I would love it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Give it to
and
me.
I don't know why we have to move on from Snipes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he used his same weapons, bro. Like the
Yep.
same
Yes.
weapons. Oh,
We got the whole throw that way, and it comes back. I was like, yes, sir. Man, listen.
And
was
you know
losing
what
my
I
mind.
love? Elektra, because I didn't like the movie, but I love the character,
Yes.
and they gave her props, man.
They gave her moment.
Gave her props, and she was great, and it was good to see her too.
Yeah.
All right. We got to give the other one, though, that was always heavily rumored
Yeah,
and fan casted and
Yeah.
finally given to us here. And just the best joke, one of the best jokes of the whole film.
The whole film.
Channing Tatum as Gambit and the accent of being a Raging Cajun. Gentlemen, I was losing my shit there too. Guys, Anthony, what did you think of Channing, man?
it cracked me up. I was in a very different way, equally cheering when he walked in as Gambit. I'm like, hey, he gets his moment, man. And then they have him speak on, hey, I've been waiting years for this. And
Oh,
then
man.
his accent is bad and purposely bad. And Reynolds calls out his dialect coach.
Dialect coach.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, this is so entertaining in every moment. It just drove me batty. No, that was a great scene. And then, as silly as they set it up when the fight comes, he's badass with his cards and his explosions, and then now we're like, okay, I think we could do a Gambit movie. That could work. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, and that was great. That was one of the best moments as well. I mean, you're already on your high because Blade came in first, man.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
And nothing can top that one. Nothing can top that one. But for Channing Tatum to pull that off, coming in after Blade, I mean, it was great. It was just great. So well done. Yeah, they didn't waste it. A lot of Marvel movies, when they start banging in the cameos every 10 minutes, I mean, it's fun, but they don't always do a lot with it. And this one did, with each and every cameo. And then the little reference to, because Garner used to be married to Affleck, little reference to Daredevil, and she's like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that was funny.
So hilarious. Because there was a pool of water that was on the ground. I was like waiting for any minute for his ass to come up out of the water
Oh yeah.
to give us the Daredevil. I was thinking like we're getting Daredevil, and he didn't come out, which is fine. But that joke made it even more amazing.
I'm good
Yeah,
with it.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
I was like, yeah.
It's fine.
He's moved on too. He's with J-Lo now. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
For
waiting for some
however-
more in jokes, like
For
reality.
however
jokes.
much longer that's gonna last. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be knocking back on Elektra. Let me in.
So from there, guys, I'll fast forward a little bit more. We didn't mention Dogpool. We learned, and we got Deadpool, the other Happy Pool with Ryan Reynolds with long hair, Fabio'd out. And then we lead into them, the big fight that brings us back into the Earth reality. And then we have a ton of more Deadpools and a lady pool, Blake Lively, his real wife in real life. I was curious if it was going to be Ryan in drag, but no, we got Blake in there, which was awesome. What did you think was that as we get to the climax of the film, guys? And just more of just this. It's fan service. Anthony, you said it's not really fan, but they gave it to us in spades.
Well, yeah. I mean,
What we
it's
want.
not like fan
Yeah.
service is like, here you go. It's
Yeah,
it's fan service.
worked.
Yeah. I love, speaking of Blake Lively, when Wolverine insults him. I don't remember what he says a few scenes earlier. He says, I'm telling Blake. Remember, did you catch that?
Yeah, I just love that real
That's
world
good.
joke inside. Yeah.
The dog pool. It's another one of my favorite shots is when Deadpool is fighting all the other Deadpools, and they're just everybody's firing every gun they have, just a barrage of bullets. And he's holding, I can't remember what that Deadpool was called. Hippie Deadpool. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when Wolverine grabs Dogpool and he's walking past them as well over to where Deadpool ran, nobody's shooting. He's just glaring at him, holding Dogpool, walking by.
So good, yo.
It's just it's so funny and so clever. I just love it. And the whole reason, of course, Deadpool took the hippie guy, the hippie Deadpool version, and oh no, you're gonna live. And he's holding him there, letting him get shot up,
Man.
because he knows he doesn't regenerate. It's because he wants the dog.
Yeah.
Deadpool wants the dog. And it's like a joke on a joke on a joke.
Yeah.
And they all work and they're all hilarious.
All right, man. What did you think, John, with that scene? I know there's a lot of violence in there and a lot of blood. But then we have Peter, who wants to be Pool as well, and is the savior from all of that drama there. As we get to the climax.
That was a surprise because I was like, when they started fighting all of them, I'm like, this is great, but if they're all Deadpools, then they ain't gonna die. So then they came back. So I'm like, okay, so they're outnumbered heavily. What's gonna stop this? And like the way that they all just stopped and everyone had their own Peter. So when they saw a Peter, they just freaked out and just sprinted to him. I was like, that was cool.
Yeah, cool. And I loved how he was a little bit of a gut and his suit was a little poked open a little. He couldn't close it. And he's the one. No, they're with me, guys. Leave him.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The bus, real quick. The bus, we forgot to mention the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, they just go through, the camera pans down the bus and they're slaying the Deadpools. But when they come out of the back of the bus, it's Wolverine is in the Wolverine attack jump pose, full on, and that's great. And so's Deadpool, but then they got to land that joke. Deadpool doesn't land; he trips and falls down. It just, is funny, bloody excitement, man.
Yeah.
All right, and now we're down in the TVA with both Wolverine and Deadpool trying to stop Cassandra Nova from just with the Time Ripper from messing up the rest of the timelines and just having hers Void be the only timeline. Happy ending, of course. They're gonna stop it. Actually, before we get there, what did you think of Cassandra Nova as a character? I thought it was a great villain. A lot of people again don't know about her being Professor X's sister that died in the womb. But here, just amazing, and just the ability. I just think those effects, that's stuff of nightmares when you can put your hand and you see it all there. That was just some great effects. Just like send chills down your spine. John, you're squirming. What do you think of Nova?
Again, I didn't know about her until the film. So,
but now you're like, she's a villain, right? Like hardcore.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan, honestly. I thought they could have.
Oh, you didn't like her as a villain? Played up in this?
I mean, I don't like her character. So I mean, it was. I mean, I'm kind of ambivalent. I mean, it was okay,
but it works for the film.
Yeah, again,
or would you rather have seen somebody else?
Fingers through the head and the face was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. But I mean, to have someone else that has Xavier's type of powers and stuff, I mean, that was pretty cool. But didn't really do anything for me.
Okay, well, how about you, Anthony?
I liked her, Patrick. I thought she was a pretty fantastic villain. I didn't know either. I had no idea that she was his sister, separated birth. She's a great villain. I'm a horror guy. I love so I love the fingers coming through your face.
Just squirming.
Oh, it just sent, it was made me feel uncomfortable. I thought it was really cool. I thought she was a really good villain. I like that we couldn't trust her either because there was a couple of moments when she was saying, if you do this, okay. And we're like, well, maybe she means it because she's got Professor X in her somewhere. And then no, she betrays all of us. I thought she was
straight up evil.
I think she's a good villain.
Gotcha. John, so would you have liked to have seen somebody else in place? Just to, throw it back at you real quick. or were you just fine with this to service the story? But if you could have something or change up, because I think we're all gleaming. We loved this film. I would say, but if there's something you changed, that a weak point then for you with Nova?
Yeah, I'd say it was the only weak point for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I know that's just for me. I know everyone else is gonna like it, and that's cool. But yeah, just for
no
me,
worries.
I was just like, yeah.
I'm just curious who would you plug in if you were to fix it?
Oh, I couldn't even. I can't even think of anyone. I just know that
Okay.
she didn't. I wasn't really feeling her. And it's funny because when the fingers thing first happened, because it was very unexpected and it kind of just came at us.
Yeah.
When I first saw the fingers and they were going like this, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Oscar winning movie. What was it? Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, so you know the part
Who
where
doesn't?
the two women and they go in that other verse and their fingers are hot dogs. That's
Yes.
what
Yeah.
it.
Is that
That's
what
what
you
it.
thought?
That's what it looked like to me. I was like, "Are we getting everything everywhere all at once?" And then it was fingers. So I just,
Yeah.
Hey, it was touching and everything everywhere all at once.
yeah,
Moving with the hot dog fingers.
yeah.
Love
Hot-
it.
That's why I thought hot dog fingers.
You know
All
what
right.
would have been cool actually to
Yeah.
bring? I love the villain. You brought back these three heroes. It would have been cool if she pulled in the villains from their timelines.
That would have been some also super cool stuff. We did get like Lady Deathstrike with going back to her along with Pyro in the earlier stuff in the Wasteland fight scene and stuff like that. But yeah, I hear you, Anthony. I'm sure though they probably didn't have that big, because think about I'm curious the budget it was on this film.
Yeah,
To
they're
get
like,
all
had
those
to-
cameos
"We have
in.
enough. That's it.
Yeah.
No more people, please."
They had to throw some money down, but I'm so happy that they did. Closing us out, they stop it, but now we have a whole new MCU, guys. I'm curious of your thoughts going from here. We've merged a little bit of the Fox Marvel stuff, but we also destroyed, I think, some of the stuff, if you will. So where are we going from here? But before we do that, I was reading because somebody already put up everything. So if you want to avoid spoilers, although we're giving a spoiler review here, don't head over to Wikipedia. Somebody already gave the entire story on Wikipedia right now.
That's
But
insane.
what I'm blown away by that I know I'll see, because I am planning to re-see this film, there's a couple of post-credit scenes that we didn't get, guys. Yeah. And I'm seeing like 3 or 4 that I'm curious is playing in different areas and they're giving different credit scenes. Right now on Wiki, and this is different from when I pulled up Wiki earlier. There's a post-credit scene that says Wilson exposes footage of Storm saying the words that led to his murder by Nova. Oh, we did get that one. Okay, that is what we get. We have Johnny. I was thinking Storm as in Halle Berry Storm. We have Human Torch, Johnny Storm. That was the one that was a post-credit scene that we got of him really saying what he said before he got murdered by Nova, that he denies during the course of the film. We got that. But when I checked Wiki earlier today, apparently there's a scene with 2 Magnetos. The OG Magneto and the Magneto from the earlier Magneto. I forgot the actor's name.
Fassbender?
I don't know if it was Fassbender, but it's like older Magneto. And I don't know. There's 2 Magnetos that are talking it out in a post-credit scene that we didn't get in our screening. So I want to see that. That apparently is a post-credit scene. And there was one other credited post-credit scene that didn't play at ours. So apparently, for those seeing this film that are screening it in different areas, they're giving us different post-credit scenes. So very intriguing. But that just leads us into
McLaglen. That's his name. Sorry. The other Magneto, McLaglen, the older guy.
Apparently there's either Ian McKellen and Fassbender, and then the other one that was the young Magneto. No. Excuse me.
Fassbender was the young man.
It is
Yeah,
Fassbender.
was young
So
Magneto.
yeah, apparently Fassbender and McKellen are talking in a post-credit scene.
What?
Yeah. And what does
That's
that
the
mean?
character I was looking for. I'm like, where's Magneto? There has to be a Magneto. And
Yeah. It was listed on Wiki, but now it's not on this Wiki anymore. So I don't know if somebody updated it again and changed it, or maybe that was just rumor. But I know, and I've heard from other critics in previous years with Marvel films, that they give us different credit scenes, post-credit scenes. I don't know if y'all have heard that, but yeah, there's a McClellan, Fassbender, Magneto scene, and then it also listed one other one that was different from the Storm, Johnny Storm one that we got. So Anyway, with that being said, I'm sorry, guys, but I just wanted to throw that out there because to me that assists with where we're going with now the future of the MCU. So to close this out, guys, where do you think we're heading? Deadpool's here.
Oh, I know where we're heading.
We brought
I know where we're
X-23
heading.
back. We did see her and before we got to the credits that, because when we had the whole climax at the TVA, everything saw Nova's dead, or we stopped Nova. Deadpool mentions, hey, can we bring Wolverine's future back? And she's like, no, because that's what makes Logan who he is now. But Logan of the last Wolverines, if you will, is here in the timeline. We saw X-23 at the apartment that was in the void. So we know those two characters are here and present. But I'm half curious, like we said earlier, we want old Blade. What happened with Blade? When did they exactly go back and what time to bring back X-23? Who did they bring back? We don't know because they didn't show it. And the future of the MCU. And or what would you like to see? So with that being said, Anthony, whoever wants to take it, with what we got, them going back, we know X-23 is here, we know Wolverine's here, and Deadpool's here now. And it's now owned by Marvel. They're going to go back to this. They got to mind this. They're going to make so much money this weekend. Yeah. What would you like to see, and where do you think we're going? I guess is the ultimate question. Let me throw it to you, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm happy that we're going to change it up because, look, I like 95% of Marvel movies that I've seen, 94, and it's starting to get a little repetitious, a lot repetitious for me. And I think we saw that in the last 3 movies that are skewered in this movie. But I'm happy that we're here. I think, like you said, there's so much to mine now. And I think while they can't go R-rated every time, I'm glad, I said this in my review, Marvel has always danced around R-rated violence. And now they've opened it up, so nobody's going to be surprised at the next one if it's bloody or whatever. I think I want Blade back. I hate to keep saying on this same or hitting.
We want Blade,
point.
yes.
Yeah, we want Blade.
We want Wesley Snipes as Blade. All praise to Mahershala Ali, but Wesley Snipes is Blade. He reminds us he's Blade. He almost scolds us for thinking there could have been another Blade in the movie. I love that. I think, yeah, like you said, the opportunities are huge here, and I don't want him to drop the ball. I want it to hit the ground running. Let's go back. Let's build the team with everybody you saw in this movie, and let's, maybe my idea, bring back some old villains as well. Maybe they're done jumping timelines because of what Deadpool said. But yeah, I don't know. I agree. I mean, I'm repeating myself. The opportunities are huge. I'm glad we're here now. It's a whole new dawn, if you will, and roll with it. And I'm here for it. And just don't blow it. That's all I ask. Don't Madam Web it, guys. Don't Madam Web.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. John, how about you, man? What do you like? What do you want to see?
Oh, I know my dreams, my wishes are going to come true. I know that we're going to get it based off of everything that happened in this film. I am finally going to be alive to see an Avengers versus X-Men, and I can't freaking wait. Back in 2017 in Atlanta at the Fox Theater, Mitch Bell, who was one of the producers on here, is the VP of Marvel Studios. He came to Atlanta. He walked the red carpet, and I said, you've been asked a lot of corporate questions. Let me give you a nerd. So I brought in my boy TBZ, and my boy TBZ grilled him all these purist questions. And the last question he asked him, and he was like, because we had like one question left on the red carpet, and he asked him straight up, I don't care what everyone else is talking about. I want to know, will we get an Avengers versus X-Men? And he laughed, and he lost eye contact and looked away and said, he said, I hope so, as a fan. And he started tripping his words. And then he said, we'll see what happens with this Fox merger. Call me next summer, hopefully and then they bought 20th Century Fox. So yeah, I'm 99.9% sure we're going to get an Avengers versus X-Men. And if it's anything like the last Avengers movie, it's going to blow out it's gonna make box office history. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I want a slow build though, like we built up with the Avengers and how they came together.
Yeah, they're gonna slow build. I think they're gonna slow
Give
build.
the characters, introduce them slowly, reintroduce them and do it right this time. Yeah, man, I'm so excited. But
That
yeah,
would be
yeah,
a dream to see.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. I want that. Now that's all I can think about.
Look, I'll send you guys the link to when he did it. I was like,
Okay.
wow, he asked him to his face because no one had asked anything remotely related to comic books at that red carpet because everyone saw VP of Marvel Studios, so all the questions were corporate. I just was like, let's talk about the film. Are we getting Avengers versus X-Men anytime this century? And I was like, dang. And
That's
yes,
awesome. That's awesome. And by the way, this is on track to break records.
oh, it's going definitely. I think with all the positive praise that the majority of us critics are doing, I think they did an outstanding job. And I was talking when I did my radio spots this morning, because I'm talking about it on the radio. It's the only film I'm talking about on the radio this weekend, just because it's so big. They moved. Diddy was supposed to drop this week, but they pushed it because I don't think they wanted to compete. Well, it's opening nationwide. They were going to do a DC release, so I moved Diddy to next week since it's not going to be here this week.
They did
But
the right thing.
it's going to kill. I just quickly want to say before we also sign off, guys, because we're closing it out, is I like that that they kept Deadpool R-rated. To your point, Anthony, earlier, Deadpool has to be R-rated. It's just it's in its character, and I hope we get more R-rated superhero films because we're an adults where there's an adult audience here, y'all. Certain characters deserve that treatment. It's part of their DNA. So
I think one adult doesn't want it.
John is like, well, I'm saying this also because John, I want Captain America should never be R. I'll say that. So like, while I want more R-rated films, and they're gonna do that in the Marvel, it should only fit per the character. Like Punisher should be R-rated.
Yeah, that I agree. Yeah,
Deadpool should be R-rated.
You don't mean like, all right, let's get an R-rated.
Exactly. I only want it to be fitting to the character because I think it's very important that we reach young fans, old fans to be accessible to everyone, that it stays at least PG-13, if you're going to go to that high, but keep it universal because kids little nerds are going to want this. I know myself as a little nerd would, although my fans were okay with me seeing R-rated films, but there's just people that, I understand that, we should watch language. That was what I was looking for. Language, when I was thinking about Captain America earlier. But yeah, I'm excited for where the future is going to hold. X-Men. I'm curious though, what of these characters are going to stay? Because there's certain ones I want like a reboot on. I don't know if like everybody was saying Cavill, for Wolverine. No, Hugh Jackman's still alive and kicking, and like Ryan Reynolds said, probably until he's 90, and pay him the Disney money. But we got to see these glimpses of certain characters. Channing, cool as Gambit, we got to see it there. But I personally want to see a different Gambit. Like if they're gonna do the X-Men right this time, I want to see all new casting with that X-Men. Personally, I want all new casting and go from there. But it's an exciting time to be a fan of these films and these properties, and as nerds, man, just good stuff. Any other last words, Anthony? I'm gonna throw it back to you.
I took a nap today, and when I woke up, I said Thor.
I'm happy you brought that up.
We forgot to
They
mention.
gotta connect that. Do we think that's gonna connect later? And do you want to see it connect? I want to see that connect.
Oh yeah, I think because what I love about that and the way Deadpool looks at Wolverine at the end when they're trying to stop the machine, Deadpool, like I said earlier, fanboys out on Wolverine and Thor. But I think he's also strangely attracted to their physiques. You know what I mean? And I love that. And I don't mean in a gay way or anything, but he's just, wow, I like that,
There's admiration. And
But
it
no,
walks
I
that
think-
line. It is beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that would be great for Thor to show up before the big battle between the X-Men and the Avengers, John. But no, that'd be great, yeah. Yeah, I didn't want us to not mention that.
That's probably going to be in the Avengers X-Men film. That would make sense if we eventually do get that. That would come from that scene,
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Because the scene's there. So Build on it. Build on that. Yeah.
Yeah. When he
How
brought
about you,
that up,
John?
yeah, when he brought that up, that was hilarious. He was like, "No, wait, why am I waking up next to Thor?" And he was like, "What?" And they just kept moving, and I was like, "What is this?" Because I immediately was like, "Oh, this is something we might see like 5-6 years from now
Yeah.
in another film." But
I was actually worried that he was going to die by the end of the movie. I'm like, oh God, is Thor going to do a cameo saving his life, but he doesn't? Is this going to be it for Deadpool? But no, they're just
Too many
building up.
cameos. They could only pay a certain amount.
yeah,
We had
so-
10 seconds with you, Chris Hemsworth. We'll pay you more later.
right.
They're big enough.
How about you, John? Any other last words in there?
Yeah, so it's an awesome movie. If you're not, if you get queasy around blood and swords and eyes and things like that, you might want to look away, but definitely still go see it because it's awesome. And the language is extremely vulgar and foul to the point where he was worrying about getting canceled on 3 different occasions. I counted. He was like, well,
Oh, man.
he was like, I bring up these things, yeah, we'll probably get canceled. And pegging and like just literally just all the language is all over the place. So
Oh, can I tell you? I was there with my almost 16-year-old son, and we let him see some stuff, but not others. But this, and he's seen vulgar things and a lot of pegging jokes, and I'm like, oh,
I know.
Hey,
Yeah.
and that's why Patrick's friend didn't bring her son, Anthony.
shout out to Ashley.
Shout out to Ashley.
Shout out to Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we've let our daughter watch any of these films. The other 2 Deadpools while I'm
And
thinking
your
about
daughter
it.
is how old?
16.
They're all the same age. And
But
all 3 of them are the
But
same
let's
age.
be honest though, like while I don't know about you guys, but like my parents, like I was seeing this stuff at like 9, 10, our parents, well, my parents didn't care, military family. We're a little bit more, we're all hesitant right now, right? We like to about, and speaking of this, but we all know here, when we were that age, we were hearing that stuff in school.
Oh,
so like,
Very true.
as long as we teach them and be good parents in the household,
yeah.
you know what? They're gonna see it, they're gonna hear it, but we control it in our household and let them know the right
Exactly.
and wrong
And
to do.
yeah, and my dad ran a movie theater when I was little, and there was stuff he
That's
would
so
let me
awesome, dude.
see, and there was stuff that he wouldn't let me see.
Yeah.
And he knew the bar, and
Yeah.
every couple of years as I got older, he would raise the bar now and again, and that's how we do with our son. And but I tell you what, the first pegging joke, and I'm not taking him to another
And that was so good, man. That scene was so awesome.
Yeah.
Again, this is adult Tom and Jerry for us, us older fans and nerds. This was made for us, and like I said, not for the children.
No.
Wu-Tang's for the children, but Deadpool is for
Deadpool
us.
is not.
Deadpool's not. So just be mindful of that, all y'all watching this. But I'm sure you're of age that is watching this right now. So let's get up out of here. Anthony Francis, movie review, screen comment, film threat. How can my people check you out online and show support? Always appreciative of you, dog.
Thank you. At Anthony SC1 on Twitter, and I fixed my movie review. I got hacked on Instagram. It was all Trump stuff. So yeah,
Oh, snap.
a lot of people were, hey, what the heck is going on? So anyway, yeah, on Instagram, the movie review. I'm back. Everything's okay now. I'm just rebuilding. But and of course, yeah, I'm everywhere. I'm here. I'll be here soon again.
So go shoot my man some follows. Let's get his numbers back up. Let's show
Yeah,
some love
I
to
gotta
my
get
man.
back to where I was, folks.
My man Anthony Francis, I appreciate you, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all right.
John Jones, the Peach Review. Talk about it. What you got going on beyond kicking footballs?
Hey, beyond all this football coverage, we got into TIFF, baby. So we are going to the Toronto International Film Festival in September. So that is 2 down, 3 more to go as far as the top 5 biggest film festivals in the world. Domestically, we did Tribeca with my brother Anthony. So thank you for that, Anthony. So yeah, biggest thing we got going on coming up we got 4 more football matches women and men. But the biggest thing is TIFF coming up in September. So I'm working on logistics for that. If people want to follow me on Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook, it's at the Peach Review, all one word. And you can read our reviews and watch our interviews on thepeachreview.com.
All right, there you go. Much love to you too, John. As always, a pleasure, sir. Again, links for both John as well as Anthony are in the description below. Show some love. Those are my homies right there, man. Do that. And of course, I'm Quee P, Nerds Rule the World. You're on here right now. You're listening to us. Always a pleasure. You know what we're doing. We always are staying busy, but it's always a pleasure when I can bring in the homies and show them love. So good times, guys. I appreciate y'all. Most entertaining film of the year. Would you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, by far.
I was talking earlier when I was doing the radio stuff, man, that there's a certain film that's dropping in the next 2 weeks that all three of us got to see, that to me overtook my number one spot for film of the year in regards to, just I think overall in regards to story and everything. I was thinking about putting Deadpool in that framework. When I was talking to John and Michelle, shout out to WTOP-FM, my local radio, my morning drive team. This is there, but it's weird, right? Do you guys put like films like this in that slots? And in the past, I haven't done that, but I don't know. I kind of want to put it there. So it's like battling for the number one spot. Although this other film I kind of place above it just because I think its importance to me to help in the generation and its meaning. I place above it. Although I can't think of a film that I won't be more entertained by this year with this Deadpool and Wolverine.
Whenever I do my end of the year best ofs, it doesn't matter to me. Like this will be on it,
Yeah,
and I
it's
don't
in the
care
top 10.
If there's 10 Schindler's Lists, it'll be 9 Schindler's List and a Deadpool and Wolverine. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter to me the genre. If it's well done, well crafted, if I like it, if it entertains me, in '88, one of my very first top 10 lists ever, because I was a teenager, was Die Hard. I had it at number 1. I mean, it probably dropped a few notches, but you know what I mean? It's still in my top 10 of that year.
Yeah.
Classic. This will definitely, as of now, it's in my top 5. We'll see what the rest of the year holds, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, it had me just rethinking my whole life and how I rate things.
I have never been so pumped up to fight to the music of Madonna in my life.
That was awesome.
That was great.
That was awesome.
So yeah, guys, so entertaining. Again, most fun you'll ever have, I think, in the theater this year. Deadpool and Wolverine. Anthony, John Jones, your boy Quee P, Deadpool and Wolverine. If you're so hyped, we're hyped. Let's talk about it in the comments. Always a pleasure, gentlemen. There you go, y'all. Nerds Rule the World. Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters July 26th. Let's talk about it in the comments below. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Quee P, Nerds Rule the World. Just got out of the press screening for Deadpool and Wolverine. You see behind me, initial thoughts coming out the joint. Y'all, you see the smile? I'm smiling. I'm somewhat speechless. That movie, y'all. You know when they say the most entertaining movie you'll ever see in theaters? This is that joint. This joint is fire. There's so much I want to say about this film, but I can't because of embargoes. But stay tuned when I can do a review. I'm gonna have it up, but I'll be talking about this on WTOP-FM. I'll be talking to everybody. I'm gonna be seeing this film over and over again.
Y'all, if you have been loving these Marvel films, if you've been loving the Fox Marvel films before we got down with the regular MCU stuff, if you're a comics nerd, man, it delivers on all that stuff. I'm getting close to my time, y'all. There's so much I want to say. Marvel Jesus is here. I loved it. Stay tuned for the review. Kuya P, Nerds Rule the World.